Carla and her big mouth just couldn't let the past be the past. The secret childhood details that only her and Madam shared has slipped from those lips, and now she's leaking from her chest. This episode of Christian Key's All the Queen's Men was a test of shocking twist and raw emotions, and it's really setting up the stage pretty nicely for an unforgettable season. Let's dive in, shall we? Trouble, Champ, and Rayshawn, the three rookies, have possibly earned their Eden stripes, but at what cost? The devastating heist that took place at the Tandys has left Rayshawn on the 8th floor at Grady. And you gotta be a Grady baby to know what I'm talking about. Rayshawn's mental has collapsed. He's unhinged. He snapped, okay? Little Tink Tink done lost his mind. The most shocking thing to me about this entire rookie heist is that none of them were wearing masks, and you think that this would be the first thing that a robber would do is put on a mask, but that's not happening here. And right away, Miss Tandy thinks that Madam sent them, and since this is her train of thought, Trouble decided that she'll just go along with it and agree that they were sent there by Madam. But before they could leave and take off like a thief in the night, they had to stop Rayshawn from overbeating her husband. And this is the part that Detective Davis is most interested in. She wanted to know what could have possibly happened to this lovely upstanding couple in this affluent neighborhood. Things just weren't adding up, and all Miss Tandy could do was think about her money-trained husband being sent to the ICU. I mean, he's half dead at this point. And I can't stand Detective Davis. She's always trying to snitch and blackmail somebody. And I don't know who's worse, her or her hating as detective co-worker. She stepped in to give relief to Miss Tandy, right? And she's just as crooked as Miss Tandy and Madam. We're finding out that she's in deep with the Tandys. We had our suspicions last season, but this episode went below the belt just in this season alone. And it's no big secret that Miss Tandy married Mr. Tandy for his stacks of cash and his political position. She told the nosy ex-co-worker that she didn't want the trio to be arrested. She wanted them to be dead instead, because killing them will just send a stronger message to their ringleaders. But the hating detective, somebody tell me her name, please. Can't just keep calling her the hating detective. She feels like this is actually a good thing for the upcoming election, and it'll help to put her husband in the mayor's seat, just like they wanted. Okay, now they've got all this money. They're actually plotting to cut Rayshawn out of the deal altogether, completely, right? The money that they took from the Tandys is well over $100,000, but they hid some of the money so that Rayshawn would think that it's less than what it actually is. But they really don't have to do too much to convince Rayshawn otherwise, because he's out of it. But they gotta make sure that that money is protected overnight and that Rayshawn doesn't start talking to the wrong people. So Trouble decided to stay overnight with him, which didn't do too much good, because when she woke up, Rayshawn was gone. He was nowhere to be found. And I can just bet that that money isn't quite exactly where they put it either. But they decided to split it later after they find Rayshawn. And something very interesting happened while they were on their little stakeout in the city looking for Rayshawn. They saw Casanova hanging out by the police station dressed like a homeless man. All of these play Inspector Gadget games got Trouble late for work, and I'm sure she probably wished she would have just called in. Took the day off, sat this one out, because Miss Tandy requested her and Champ to go to the VIP for a little private conversation, if you will. Turns out the mayor-elect is gonna make it, and now Miss Tandy wants her money back, all of it, and Trouble is blaming Madam for everything. She saw that they were not easily intimidated, so she just decided to leave, but not before they checked her for a wire. And Miss Tandy just be too much. She be doing too much all the time. So she left, but on her way out, she stopped Babyface to remind him that she still got the money bags, and she let him know that he could get some of it if if he helped her to find Rayshawn, who's hiding somewhere. I just know they better find him before he start talking. She even went and told Madam what happened. And Madam just thought the entire robbery and how everything went down was hilarious. And she did absolutely nothing. She knows that Trouble is loyal and trying to secure a spot on the main stage, but Madam never misses an opportunity to teach her dancers a valuable lesson. But it's a good thing that Madam didn't retaliate too quickly, because she never would have found out that Casanova is still alive. And besides, Madam was too busy mourning the death of her father, and we'll get to that in a minute, to be thinking about Trouble and the games that she's playing with Miss Tandy's money. She told Blue and Tommy to make sure that Concierge's brother had left Earth permanently. And after that, it was pretty much Concierge's turn. But Madam warned them that they're no match for Concierge. She told him that Concierge is well-connected, had privileges in the White House, and that kept a man like him out of their league. And this right here shows you exactly how much confidence she has in her team that's surrounding her. every day. I mean, she doesn't. I think she's losing the confidence. In an attempt to keep her mind off of what has happened to her father, Madam wanted to go to the club so she could think. She also wanted to go by the nursing home to question Nurse Johnson about why she didn't protect her father and why she didn't call her when she knew something was wrong. Madam discovered from another nurse that was on duty that Nurse Johnson was there all alone with her father. She told Madam that Nurse Johnson knew exactly what happened. She called the morgue men. She took the body down to the infirmary all by her little self. And this woman right here, she spilled all the tea. Even gave Madam the address to Nurse Johnson's house. And I'm sitting here talking to the TV like, will you shut up? But before she could get to Nurse Johnson's house to ruin the rest of her life, Carla came in to say, I told you so, yelling at Madam, making her feel guilty about putting their father in a nice nursing home. But she didn't run her mouth for long. I mean, Madam shut all that down immediately, stabbed her right in her chest. Madam is ruthless and cold, no matter what's going on. But apparently that was still not enough to shut Carla up. Had some more talking to do, so she decided to live, just to piss people off, and to continue harassing Madam. And while Carla was recovering, Madam was on her way to victim number 2. She made it to Nurse Johnson's house, walked right in, and started questioning her about the money that they paid her to have Cadillac killed. Of course, this sent Nurse Johnson into a panic. She was running from room to room, running for her life, until she finally retired in this room right where Madam's dad was, alive and well. Now, this was a cliffhanger in the second episode, but there was still a lot more drama brewing at the club and down at the police station. It turns out that someone loaded Detective Davis's email full of video of Madam leaving crime scenes, and they backdated the email, making it appear as if she was sitting on this evidence for all this time. Detective Davis has more than compromised the entire investigation that they were building on Madam and her club, and turns out that Casanova was planted inside the club to also watch her as well. And he did a pretty good job because he's got footage of her and Doc playing Dr. Schlongdong on his couch. They recorded it all. So there's really no denying it. You can't even pretend that that wasn't you. But even with all the emails, they really can't prove that she's done anything. And she knows it. And back at the club, Big D is still after Dime and Amp is still mad that he can't have Dime. Midnight has to be the calm in the storm by letting Dime know just how much Amp really cares about her. And it's like he also has to play big brother to Amp, you know? And look out for him because Amp really needs guidance right now. And Midnight is really trying to be there for him. Then we saw Doc giving Big D all the tips and tricks on how to roll his hips. And Babyface is mad as hell. Oh, he's hot. Babyface is still threatened by this kid. And it's so funny because they all bring something to the table. And it's like Big D said, it's enough money in the club for everybody. But Babyface don't want to hear all that. He wants Big D gone. And it looks like Doc's moves that he taught Big D is working because he got Miss Tandy laid up in the VIP like the $2 whore that she is. And another important piece to this puzzle is Fuego being awakened to some strange messages on his computer where someone has hacked his system. But ain't he the geeky computer guy? How is it that the hacker is getting hacked? The hacker warned him that his systems and phones were hacked along with everyone who is close to him or around him, so tighten up. And he shared all of this information with Blue, but Blue didn't seem to care too much. She said, you know, do whatever you're supposed to do to make this go away. Make sure that my phone or Madam's phone is not hacked. She told him that this is why they're paying him, so he needs to handle it. And all Fuego tries to do is, he always, tell him the truth, trying to, make things right, but he gets a bad rap every time, no matter what. And I think I pretty much covered everything in this video, guys, for both episodes. I hope that you enjoyed this breakdown, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And if you're a fan of All the Queen's Men, go ahead and sub to the channel for more videos just like this one. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, you guys, and I'm going to see you in the next one.